on the
vice president finally breaks his silence.
I'm the guy who pulled the trigger and shot my friend.
What we've learned about his shotgun. It cost $23,000. Now, Inside Edition with Deborah Norville.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for joining us. It has taken 4 days, but Vice President Dick Cheney is finally speaking publicly about the hunting accident that set a campaign contributor to intensive care. Diane McInerney reports.
I'm the guy who pulled the trigger that fired the round that hit Harry. And you can talk about all of the other conditions that existed at the time, but that's the bottom.
What their own party thinks.
And speaking on The View, Geraldo said the incident is a serious crisis for the administration.
This has worked against him. This has worked against the president. This has made the entire administration look deceptive and secretive.
The New York Times reports the incident has triggered a rupture between the vice president's staff and the White House.
It's Wednesday, February 15th. Coming up live on The View. Geraldo Rivera is taking aim at the hot topics that are making...
I just told through in my ear that Cheney is going to make a statement on Fox. At 2 o'clock, he's going to be speaking to reporters. I think he should address the White House press corps personally.
He absolutely needs to do it on Fox, because what is Fox News?
Fair, balanced.
And they are.
Isn't Geraldo our guest? Isn't
Fair
he on Fox?
and
yes,
balanced.
he's on Fox.
And you know
Geraldo's
what?
here.
Geraldo is here.
He's going to have something to say about that, obviously.
They're obviously not going to talk to him. He's just...
The headlines are full of hot topics that have everyone talking, and right now we're finding out what one of TV's most outspoken men has to say about them. Please welcome back Geraldo Rivera. It's precious. Oh my gosh.
She's so beautiful.
This is little soul.
What, you got a touch out of her face? Look.
She is
Okay, she loves
Oh, now
you.
she just noticed
Her name is Soul. Soul? Yeah.
Come,
Soul
she
is
is
her name. What's her name?
S-O-L means son.
S-O-L like the sun.
Right.
Hi, that is fun that you get to see her today.
It's like Saul. If he
Right
were
with
Jewish,
us.
it'd be
If he was
Saul.
Jewish, well, you know, if it's
Shoe fits.
She loves her daddy. You could tell she brightened right up.
Yeah.
Hey, so do you have breaking news for us about this whole Cheney situation?
A couple of breaking news items. Number one, on the vice president, he will be speaking at 2 o'clock Eastern time to Brit Hume, who runs the Washington office for Fox News.
So just to Brit Hume, not to the
Just
general...
to Brit Hume, and it will be on tape, and sound bites will be made available immediately. So I think that by 4 o'clock Eastern time, we'll hear the vice president's explanation, which is exactly more or less 4 days after the incident started. So it reminds me most of...
4 days too long, in your opinion, or...?
Well, it reminds me most of Ted Kennedy in 1969 and Chappaquiddick.
Yeah, that's what we talking about.
And how he screwed up his whole life by not being more forthcoming. He could have been president. He's a man that could have been president.
Yeah, but Cheney doesn't want
exactly.
He wants nothing.
So he controls.
To control now, but later on.
He has no aspirations after this.
He must, we can joke that he's Darth Vader, but he must care about his president and his party. And
Then why do you think he's kept quiet for 4 days?
Because I think he's made a terrible error, and I think that his instinct has always been secrecy. His instinct has always been to, keep things hush-hush. He exists in this parallel universe at an undisclosed location.
Told you,
but isn't that...
And, he may, I understand that that's his image, but I think that this has worked against him. This has worked against the president. This has made the entire administration look deceptive and secretive, and I think it's a terrible error.
Can he
this guy
correct
was
it with
not
an
hit in
interview
the
with Brit
butt
Hume?
with buckshot. This guy was hit in the heart.
Right. What can he say, though? What can he say and come out today to make it better, do you think, in your opinion?
Ladies and gentlemen, there's two things. This is the Vice President speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, two things. Number one, I am terribly sorry for what happened to my pal Harry Whittington. It was a hunting accident. Nobody was at fault. I love Harry, and I'm desperately sorry that this happened. Secondly, ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry that I have not been more forthcoming. I should have come out on Saturday evening and wish you...
And why didn't you, Mr.
And
Vice
say my
President?
condolences to this poor man and to his family, and explain to the American people that accidents happen. And why I didn't, I've had a lot of things on my mind. I'm sorry.
See, that's the why is the tricky one.
Why
is the tricky
But
one?
no, why the honest answer is from the Vice President is because it's always been my MO to hold things in. And you know what? Sometimes even I make a mistake.
That's good.
Yeah, that would be
that one.
Even I make a mistake.
Well, he
and
said
I
that,
made
though.
a mistake.
He
But
made a
he
terrible
wouldn't.
mistake. Yeah.
See, the point is, you have to have that intestinal thing to say, even I made the error. Once you say that, then people forgive you.
But when you say even I, you sound so imperial. Even I.
There's an error.
That's his
I
image.
screwed up, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. America, and I'm terribly sorry, and I just pray that Harry recovers, and I'm going to go down there and stand by his side.
Right.
You don't need to see what he says.
Mild heart attack. A 78-year-old man doesn't have a mild heart attack. I got news for you.
Right.
78-year-old man with buckshot pellet in his heart. There's something very grave about it.
So you think that we're not being told everything?
I think that, what if this guy dies?
Well,
let's just say, God forbid, let's say that Harry succumbs to this injury.
Right.
What, this is Aaron Burr shot Alexander Hamilton, the vice president, shot the Secretary of Treasury back over in, Hoboken at the beginning of the 19th century.
Honor and loyalty.
Well, whatever it was based on, he continued to serve as vice president. I think Cheney can continue to serve, but I think that the error in staying silent for 4 full days is an insult to all of us that deserves an apology to us and why was he on that ranch owned by these lobbyists anyway?
Well, that's the real story.
Doesn't it get creepy?
Yes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of questions, and he should be addressing the entire press corps.
I was going to ask you about
Neil Entwistle, the loser English version of Scott Peterson, has taken off from Great Britain in a private plane. He'll be landing in the Boston area between
plane is that
4 and 5 o'clock. I believe it is a plane that has been chartered by the Hopkinton Police Department, the local authorities. He is now in their custody. Well, he's in the custody now of U.S. Air Marshals. That's the FAA regulation and the U.S. law. Entwistle, the Boston, the English-born Boston computer scam artist who came up with the most preposterous alibi for his wife and baby daughter's killing. And then he said he was going to kill himself. It was going to be a murder-suicide because of all the financial problems and all the pressure. Yet it turns out he was...
Has he actually said that, or is that our theory?
No, he has said that. I have 230 pages of documents, affidavits supporting the search warrants, and he spoke for 2 hours with an inspector, an investigator. These are all his cockamamie stories. He has no alibi whatsoever. And then it turns out that he's been surfing the web for porno sites for himself.
But he hasn't admitted to the killing.
He has not yet admitted to the killing, but his DNA is on the grip of the pistol used, and the wife Rachel's DNA is on the barrel. He's innocent until proven guilty. His alibi stinks.
Yes, fair enough.
I want to also ask you about this Friday. You're actually taking your show, Geraldo at Large, to Philadelphia. You're going to uncover secrets that are going on in the ghetto and all the snitching that's going on. Is that right?
Remember when Eric Hernandez, the New York cop, got shot up in that White Castle by the other cop, and sadly has now passed away. One of the thugs that started the melee had a "Stop Snitching" T-shirt on.
I remember that.
So I said, what is that about stop snitching? It turns out it's a movement out of Philadelphia, born in Philadelphia, in which inner city people are now refusing to cooperate. There's a movement to encourage people to refuse to cooperate with the authorities. Why? Because witnesses' lives are endangered, and it's an us against them. It's you're going to help the man against me.
Is that new?
That they have had the nerve to now to memorialize it as a movement and to sell T-shirts. This is what a blow this would be. Star, if you have a prosecution and there's one eyewitness to a shooting in the inner city, what do you do without that eyewitness? What you do is the guy walks.
Oh, definitely. If we don't have witnesses come forward, we oftentimes can't solve
I'm going to hit that one pretty hard.
So we'll look for that on Friday.
But by the same token, we have to hit some of the resentment that is born of a police department that does not support the community if, in fact, the community comes forward.
O.J. Simpson was the biggest beneficiary of that. And how sad that was.
And how sad that is.
Yeah.
You tried. Let's talk about it.
But however it is, you always are digging for the truth, and we love that. We love when you come in here and weigh in on all. And Seoul is beautiful. Thank you so much.
She started sleeping through the night last week.
That's what we should talk about right there. Thanks, Geraldo. Bye, Seoul. Our thanks to Geraldo Rivera. Geraldo at Large can be seen weekdays. Check your local listings. We'll be right back. Bye-bye, Seoul.
Thank you.
Oh, she's cute.